Very good Saturday afternoon, folks. NTV Chief Meteorologist Eddie Sheerr here with you. It's January 16th, 12:35 p.m. And I'm doing a weather update on Saturday, which means we are going to see active weather tonight from an area of low pressure currently getting its act together off the coast of New England, bringing snow now to Nova Scotia, back to New Brunswick, Maine, and it looks like heavy rain in Boston right now. This low is currently sitting in the Gulf of Maine, and it will track to the northeast and wind up just off the east coast of the Avalon tonight, and will pass to our east and northeast as we go through the day Sunday. Now, because of this potential weather, Environment Canada has issued special weather statements for St. John's and vicinity, southeast and southwest Avalon, Burin Peninsula, where it looks like we are in for some messy weather tonight. Here's a GFS model forecast as of 8:30 this evening, I should also say temperatures now are below freezing. They're going to stay below freezing by a couple of degrees overnight, except on the southeast Avalon where it may get close. But I think most of us do stay below freezing. So the setup for wintry weather is here, even though I haven't talked about temperatures. So by 8:30 tonight, heavy snow across New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. Jumping ahead 6 more hours now, some warm air beginning to be pulled into this low. This is about 2:30 in the morning from the southeast, like that. But that warm air is coming in aloft, not at the surface. So what that's going to do is that will introduce the potential for ice pellet or sleet and freezing rain rather than just snow. The question is, how far west does that mix line go? Some models have it encroaching on the eastern half of the Avalon, some have it a little back farther to the west, and some have it remaining completely offshore. Where that sets up will determine how much precipitation we get in the form of snow and how much in the form of ice pellets and freezing rain. So jumping ahead to 8:30 Sunday morning, low just offshore, you can see it there. We still have freezing rain potentially on the Avalon Peninsula, some snow back to the Bonavista and Burin Peninsula's Clarenville area, a little bit farther west back into Terra Nova and the Canaga region, and then jumping ahead into tomorrow afternoon, now 2:30 in the afternoon, low is to the east, and we are just left with some lingering flurries. The question is, how much of what precip type are we going to see? Well, the GFS has a bit of a mixed bag for us. So the orange here is ice pellet, showing light ice pellet accumulation in the Bonavista Peninsula north of the Burin Peninsula, showing some decent freezing rain amounts on the eastern side of the Avalon Peninsula, showing snow, heaviest amounts, Burin Peninsula, south coast Canaga region, and some rain on the southeast Avalon as temperatures there may pop above freezing by a little bit. So this is why it's such a tricky forecast, because you have computer models that can't agree on precipitation types. They can't agree there's going to be a low and it's going to pass to our southeast, and there's going to be mixing issues. This is the RGEM forecast for snowfall as of tomorrow evening, so what we see tonight and tomorrow, and the timing for this is going to be about midnight tonight to noon tomorrow. Showing highest snowfall amounts just off the south coast, Burin Peninsula 10-15 centimeters, Avalon Peninsula 5 to 10, where we don't see a whole lot of mixing, and then lesser amounts southeast where there could be some rain. But this model is also showing a fair bit of freezing rain. Encroaching on the metro, southeast, southwest Avalon could see several centimeters of freezing rain. If this is likely, areas around St. Mary's Bay may see a lot of freezing rain, which is not good because it's also going to be windy. We could be talking about some power outages and some trees coming down if we get that much freezing rain. Hopefully we do not. Typically these models overestimate freezing rain amounts. But notice the Burin Peninsula not seeing a whole lot of freezing rain on this model, some ice pellets on the Burin Peninsula, which would eventually cut down on snowfall totals. Well, what I also want to draw your attention to is total precip amounts. So we're talking about if we melted out everything we see tonight and tomorrow, how much liquid would that be? Well, it's less than an inch or less than 30 millimeters in most spots. So even if we saw all snow, we're talking 30 centimeters, which is a fair bit, but it's not the most we've ever seen. So I think if the Burin Peninsula, for instance, were to see all snow, we could be talking about 20 to 25 centimeters of snow. Lesser amounts on the Avalon, where I think there definitely are some mixing issues. But the mixing is the most difficult thing, because the mixing will cut down on snowfall because we're getting other precip types. So here is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking on the Burin Peninsula, 10, 15, maybe 20 centimeters with some ice pellets mixed in. If there are no ice pellets, 20, 25 centimeters, maybe up to 30 for southwest parts of the Burin Peninsula. Canaga region, depends on the track of the low. Could be 20, 25 centimeters. Could be less if the low tracks a little farther to the south. We're talking 10, 15 kilometers, not that much of a difference. Avalon Peninsula. Looks like we see some freezing rain, at least on the eastern half of the Avalon, probably the whole thing, and some ice pellet. So I think in the metro, 5 to 15 centimeters of snow, depending on how much ice we get. Lesser ice means more snowfall amounts, and obviously vice versa. Southeast Avalon looks like 5, 10 centimeters of snow, maybe less, with some rain and freezing rain and ice pellet mixed in. Southwest Avalon, I think same thing, but we could see more freezing rain than rain. Bonavista Peninsula, Clarenville area, looks like 5 to 10, maybe up to 15 centimeters of snow for you if we don't get any ice pellet mixing in there, which is also a possibility. So it's certainly a bit of a mess, and it's a difficult forecast at best. It's also going to turn windy overnight. Winds will gust close to 60 or 80 kilometers per hour late tonight into the beginning of tomorrow, and then they'll back off tomorrow afternoon to 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. So expect a mess tonight, but there's too much uncertainty to get very specific, and I wish I could, but I can't. Enjoy the nice weather we have today, because the next several days look cloudy with lots of flurries after tonight's wintry mix. Have a great evening. Have a great afternoon. I'll do another weather update for you if need be later today or this evening. Until then, have a great one. You can find me on Facebook, Meteorologist Eddie Sheerr, Twitter at Eddie Sheerr, YouTube, Eddie Sheerr, Instagram, Eddie Sheerr, and you can Snapchat Eddie Sheerr as well. Have a great day.